Okay, after all the pushing and pulling, planning and preparation, March 30th came around. The great day, the wedding day. I spent the day more or less with my best friend, my best man. He was the guy that introduced me to Millie. We were going to stop by the bakery, pick up the wedding cake on the way to the wedding. Naturally, we were pushed for time. We were waiting until the last minute or so to get there. When I looked at it, and it wasn't the way she said it was supposed to be, and he insisted that it was the right cake, and I said, "Well, now she told me it was supposed to be look a certain way, and this is not the way she told me it's supposed to look." When I called, she hadn't gotten to Girlie's house. She hadn't gotten to the place of the wedding, so I couldn't do anything. I couldn't tell him what to do because I didn't know what to tell him to do. And I called again, and having that she was there that time, and I explained to her what the problem was. Sure, he understood what she wanted when she talked to him, but he had to do the cake. He had to redo something. He had to almost do the cake over. And the wedding was supposed to be at 8 o'clock, and here it is now. I think about that time, probably about 7:30. I turned up an hour and 15 minutes late for my wedding. I know Miller's mother was probably saying, "Uh huh, I told you so." but anyhow, it turned out fine. I got the cake. Everything went down. The preacher did his whatever, and we did our I do's, and you would think next thing here we come time to cut the wedding cake. Like the bride and the groom cut the cake, and the bride gives the groom a bite of the cake, and all of that, whatever that's supposed to symbolize. But it's really, as it happened with us, when we cut the cake, instead of Millie turning around and give me the first bite of the cake, she turned around and gave it to her mother. she, she, Her mother had the first bite. we we laughed about it. We joked about that for a long time afterwards. It was so funny that I'm expecting to get the bite of the cake, and I look around, and her mom's got it. She said, I can see. And well, that was just. I mean, we weren't experts at getting married, so that was no big thing. But you would think, all these things happening, all these terrible things happening to the wedding, you'd figure, boy, that don't sound good for this marriage. And if the marriage turns out as bad as the wedding, it's going to be a problem. Another thing, later on that night, we went to a reception, and we had a reception at this club where I was playing. That's where we had our reception. We had a portion of the club reserved for our party, and as fate would have it, luck or whatever, we sitting right there at the table, right in front of the door, was my ex-girlfriend. I don't know just how that could happen, but she looked up and saw me. She didn't know I was going to get married. I don't guess. Wasn't any reason for her to know, but just just the look on her face. when she saw us coming in, it was obvious it was a wedding party. And she saw us coming in, and the look on her face when she saw me, and I'm thinking, nothing else can happen. Nothing else actually can happen. And it did. There's this tradition where the groom picks the bride up and carries her across the threshold. And we got into the building, got into the apartment building. We discovered there were 2 flights of stairs. Well, I knew that they were there, but she didn't. There were 2 flights of stairs going up to our place, and I had to tell her, there's no way I'm going to carry you up 2 flights of stairs. Although she didn't weigh that. Millie, we got married. Millie only weighed about 90 pounds. She was real small. And so what we did, we walked up the stairs. We got to the door of our apartment, and then I carried over the threshold. That was good. That worked out fine. But it it was one of those nights where you look back on it and you think about all the things that happened, but you laugh about it. It's all real funny because it all turned out fine. Everybody had a good time, and especially we did. And it didn't have any impact on the marriage, because we were married 57 years.